Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video. Welcome everybody, guys. Current week is coming to an end and everybody expects the solution and result of the negotiation and the bargain between the Greece and the European Union concerning the Greece debt program. And today we will take a look at the euro currency. So at the first glance it seems that it's not really interesting situation here. It might be a curious choice to talk on the euro currency. But currently, guys, on the intraday chart, we, as you will see a bit later, we have a very specific setup that we haven't met very often on the markets. But still, this is the Apple directional trade. That's called the head and shoulders failure. This setup hasn't been confirmed yet, and it stands in the step of the formation, step of the preparation. It's not really has been confirmed. That's why our talk will be a bit preliminary on this setup, because we do not know yet whether it will be formed or not. But the background for the setup is already was prepared, and that's really very interesting setup, and it's very interesting as from the practical point of view, from the educational point of view. This is really cool. Well, let's start with it. So on the euro currency, previous analysis that we have prepared said that market stands in the long-ranged candles. 2 weeks ago, when the Greece has announced a default on the payment to the IMF, that was a huge drop open on Monday. Then it was closed, and market has formed this huge candle. And since then, market stands inside of this range. From the technical point of view, usually market stands for a long period inside of the big candles. But when the breakout will happen, the market will continue action in the direction of the breakout and should pass at least the same distance as the length of this candle. So, for example, if the breakout down will happen, then market will move at least the same distance as the length of the candle to the downside. The same is true for the upward breakout. So until market stands inside of the range, this indicates some sort of the indecision. So that's understandable, because we know what is going on and why market stands in the tight range. That is what we see on the daily chart. Pay attention that the monthly pivot point, this July pivot point, stands at 1156. Just keep in mind this level. Now let's move forward to the 4-hour time frame chart. On the 4-hour time frame chart, we see the same range. On the current week, it coincides, as you can see, with the pivot points. This weekly pivot point here, that is the pivot resistance, pivot support. That's the length of this candle on the daily chart. But pay attention that this area is also weekly pivot point, and take a look. Confidence resistance 1114, 1139. Okay. Now we're moving to the most interesting time frame chart. This is hourly chart. Here we see, guys, some kind of the head and shoulders pattern. So reversal head and shoulders right at the bottom of this range. So that was this low on the daily chart. Market is forming something that looks like the head and shoulders. But the major trap of this pattern stands in this area. Also, you can see, guys, that market has completed here the minor ABCD extension, 618 extension. I was struggling with this resistance. What is the trap stands here? This is really very strong resistance. So the neckline, but the most important is that here we have, as I said, this confidence, and here we have this monthly pivot point. And the Judd-Napoli directional pattern that calls us the head and shoulders failure tells that if right above this, the neckline of the head and shoulders, or very close to the neck of the head and shoulders, stands very strong resistance and confidence resistance, market could form so-called directional pattern as the head and shoulders failure. How it works: when the market breaks through the neckline and meets the rock hard resistance, it turns to the downside and returns it back down below the neckline again. That is the confirmation of this pattern. The classical head and shoulders failure usually suggests moving below the right shoulder bottom. That's very long distance, but the Judd-Napoli progressive directional pattern suggests that the existing of the stroke resistance and the fact that market wasn't able to pass through it, return right back down below the neckline, that works as the confirmation candle and tells that this pattern probably will fail. So this approach has a lot of advantages. The major advantage is that we will be able to take the short position much faster and earlier than classical failure. So for the classical failure, market has to move lower and taking out the bottom of the right shoulder. But we will know that head and shoulders has failed much earlier. And now taking into consideration that the failure head and shoulders suggests the moving below the head, and that in turn could lead to breakout of this range. Okay? And now you guys probably understand the perspective of this pattern and perspective of the Judd-Napoli directional pattern that could give us if this analysis will be correct. We do not know yet whether it will be formed or not. We just will watch for it. Maybe this will be formed not on the today, but since this is hourly chart, maybe today we will get the clarification of this. So that's very interesting and not really the setup that you can't meet very often on the market. It's rather rare setup. That's why it's very interesting to watch for what will happen. So that's been said, on the euro currency, our trading plan suggests first watching how market will behave with this major resistance. If we will see that market will break the neckline, but then return right back down and close here, that will be the great chance that we will get the head and shoulders failure, and that will be signal for a possible taking the short position, because this will be the directional Judd-Napoli pattern. The major conditions that market should move below the neckline and stay below the major resistance. It's right here that we have discussed here. So we should make an attempt to pass through it and then fail or return it back down. That's our major condition. So let's see what will happen, and that's really very interesting setup, as you can see, with the big perspectives. Very nice perspective if this really will happen.